You see, sometimes in life, the greatest strength you can show is the strength to walk away. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every fight needs your voice. There are moments when the best response is no response at all. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to beg for respect. If they can't see your value, it's not your job to force them to. You've got to know your worth, and when you know your worth, you won't settle for anything less. Understand this walking away isn't about weakness, it's about growth. Growth requires change. You can't stay in a place that holds you back. You can't keep letting people drain your energy. You've got to know when to move on, when to leave silently, and trust that the next chapter will be better than the one you just closed. You don't have to explain why you're walking away. You don't need to justify it. Your peace is yours to protect. Nobody can take it unless you give it to them. So take control of your peace. Don't let someone's ignorance, jealousy, or negativity mess with the hard-earned peace you've built. Avoid the drama. It's tempting, I know. People want you to react. They want you to argue, to fight. But don't waste your time. Life is too short for that. You don't have to engage in every conversation that's meant to tear you down. You don't have to be a part of every fight that doesn't concern you. Walk away, stay silent, and keep your focus on what really matters. Strength is found in restraint. It takes more power to stay calm, to walk away, than to react emotionally. People are going to try you. They'll push your buttons. But the true measure of strength is how you carry yourself when the heat is on. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you show them just how powerful you really are. And by leaving silently, you show others how to handle their situations with dignity. You lead by example. You don't have to say a word. Your actions, your ability to move in silence, will speak louder than any confrontation ever could. So when the time comes, and it will come when it's time to walk away, don't be afraid to do so. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone an argument. You owe it to yourself to protect your peace, to keep your head high, and to move forward with strength and grace. Leave them silently. Let your silence be the answer. Because when you walk away, you're not losing anything. You're gaining everything. There's an undeniable power in silence, a strength that doesn't require words to be understood. We live in a world that is constantly noisy, always pushing us to react, to speak up, to defend ourselves. People want answers. They want you to explain yourself, justify your actions, and constantly make noise just to be heard. But here's the thing, silence doesn't mean you're weak or passive. Silence can be one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. In silence, you give yourself the space to think. In that quiet moment, you can evaluate, reflect, and decide the best course of action without the distraction of external voices. You don't have to respond to every insult, every jab, or every provocation. You don't need to explain your worth to anyone. The strongest people I know are not the ones who yell the loudest, but the ones who can sit back, hold their ground, and let their actions speak for them. Silence has a way of commanding respect. When you don't immediately react, when you choose not to engage in unnecessary drama, it sends a message that you're not easily moved. You know your value, and you're not going to waste energy on things or people who don't align with your peace. People will start to notice that when you speak, it's with purpose, and when you remain silent, there's strength in that silence. There's also a freedom that comes with silence. It's liberating to walk away from conversations that don't serve you, from arguments that go nowhere, from situations that drain your energy. Silence gives you the freedom to not be caught up in someone else's chaos. It allows you to create your own space, your own narrative, without the noise of others dictating it for you. Silence also has the power to make others uncomfortable. Sometimes people expect you to fight, to argue, to get upset. When you don't, they're left with nothing to latch onto. They don't know how to handle it. And that discomfort can often be more effective than any verbal battle. It shows them that you won't stoop to their level. You're not going to let them manipulate you into a confrontation. Most importantly, silence allows you to protect your peace. Peace isn't something that can be given to you. It's something you must protect. And the moment you realize that, you understand that silence is a weapon of self-preservation. You don't have to engage with negativity. You don't have to react to every situation. There's strength in standing still, in choosing not to react, in leading quietly when necessary. So don't be afraid of silence. It's not the absence of strength, it's the presence of control. It's a choice to rise above the noise. When you embrace the power of silence, you take back control of your peace, your actions, and your life. And that's a strength that no one can take from you. The first step in protecting yourself, your peace, and your future is knowing your worth. Too many of us spend years, sometimes even decades, undervaluing ourselves. We allow others to define who we are, to set the terms of how we should be treated, to dictate the direction of our lives based on their perceptions of us. But here's the truth: no one else is qualified to determine your worth but you. Knowing your worth isn't about arrogance. It's not about putting others down or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing that you are enough, just as you are. It's about understanding the value you bring to every room, to every conversation, to every project you take on. It's understanding that your time, your energy, your talents are precious. When you know your worth, you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. You don't allow anyone to treat you as though you're expendable, because you understand that your presence is valuable. The people around you will only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. When you don't know your worth, you might accept disrespect, neglect, or people who will only see your value when it serves them. You might find yourself in toxic relationships, jobs that drain you, and situations where you feel invisible or underappreciated. But the moment you realize what you're worth, everything changes. You stop accepting the bare minimum. You stop letting people take you for granted. You stop pouring your energy into things that drain you without giving anything back. Knowing your worth means setting boundaries. It means saying no when you need to, even if it's uncomfortable. It means walking away from situations that don't align with your goals or values. It means making decisions that prioritize your well-being and long-term happiness over temporary approval or acceptance from others. When you know your worth, you recognize that you are worthy of respect, love, success, and peace, and you won't settle for less than that. It's also about knowing your gifts. Every person has something unique to offer. You've got strengths, talents, and potential that no one else has. When you know your worth, you begin to understand what you're capable of. And you stop dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. You own your greatness and you bring it to the table unapologetically. Knowing your worth also involves self-respect. You treat yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and love that you would give to someone else. If you wouldn't allow a friend to be mistreated, why would you allow it to happen to yourself? You're worthy of the best relationships, the best opportunities, the best experiences life has to offer. But it starts with you. If you don't value yourself, no one else will. It's important to remember, knowing your worth doesn't mean you're going to be perfect or that everything in life will fall into place automatically. It's about understanding that you are a work in progress, that you are valuable even with your flaws and imperfections. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your worth is inherent. When you truly know your worth, you stand firm in your convictions. You stand tall in your decisions. You trust yourself and your intuition. You stop doubting your abilities, and you start believing in the potential you've always had. You see challenges as opportunities to grow and obstacles as lessons that will only make you stronger. And when you walk through life with the understanding of your own worth, you'll find that people start to treat you the way you treat yourself. Respect, love, and honor will flow to you naturally because you've set the standard for how you expect to be treated. So ask yourself today, do you know your worth? If not, it's time to take back control. It's time to stop settling, to stop apologizing for your value, and to start demanding the respect, success, and peace you deserve, because you are worthy. And the moment you truly understand that, everything about your life will change. Respect isn't something you should ever have to beg for. It's not something that should be given conditionally or earned through continuous efforts to please others. Respect is something you demand not through force or confrontation, but through your actions, your boundaries, and the way you carry yourself. If someone can't recognize your value, don't waste a single moment trying to convince them otherwise. Respect is earned through integrity, not through pleas. Too often, we find ourselves in situations where we feel like we have to prove ourselves to others, where we have to bend over backward just to get a modicum of respect. We apologize for things we shouldn't apologize for. We settle for less than we deserve, hoping that if we do enough or say enough, they'll finally see us for who we truly are. But the truth is, you don't have to beg anyone to see your worth. When you truly understand your own value, you stop begging for respect. You understand that respect isn't about demanding it with words. It's about setting boundaries and holding firm to them. It's about choosing not to engage with people who try to devalue you. It's about choosing to walk away from situations that drain you, that belittle you, or that fail to honor you. When you stop begging for respect, you stop putting yourself in a position where you're constantly trying to convince others of your worth. You don't need to fight for recognition. Your actions will do the talking. Begging for respect is a sign that you're not fully confident in who you are. You're giving your power away, waiting for external validation to fill the void of your self-worth. The minute you stop seeking approval from others is the minute you realize the only approval that matters is your own. You know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. And when you understand that, you stop allowing others to treat you like you're less than. Respect is not transactional. It's not something you do for someone in exchange for how they treat you. True respect is mutual, built on the foundation of understanding, trust, and equality. When you know your worth, you attract people who respect you because they see the value in your presence. They don't have to be told how to treat you, they already know. And if they don't know, they'll learn quickly that you don't tolerate disrespect. Here's the thing, if you have to beg for respect, it's a clear sign that the relationship isn't healthy. Whether it's in your personal life or in your professional life. If you're constantly fighting for the bare minimum, it's time to reevaluate who's in your circle. You don't need anyone in your life who doesn't recognize your worth. If they can't respect you for who you are, then it's time to let them go. You are not a charity case, and you are not here to convince anyone of your value. Think about it. When you respect yourself, you teach others how to treat you. When you set clear boundaries, you send a message that you will not accept anything less than the respect you deserve. And the more you stand firm in that, the more others will begin to follow your lead. They'll understand that your time, your energy, your love, and your loyalty are not to be taken for granted. Respect comes naturally when you carry yourself with dignity and confidence. You don't need to argue for it. You don't need to chase it down or beg for it. It's something that should be given freely because it's the baseline of every healthy relationship. And when you walk into a room, you should expect nothing less than the respect that is inherent in your being. Don't beg for respect. Instead, set the standard. Know who you are. Know your value. And remember that the people who truly see your worth will never make you beg for a seat at the table. They'll already have pulled up a chair for you. Growth requires change, and change is not always easy. It's uncomfortable, it's challenging, and it often forces us to face parts of ourselves that we would rather ignore. But here's the reality: without change, there is no growth. You cannot evolve into the person you are meant to be if you keep holding on to old patterns, old habits, or the old version of yourself. Growth demands that you leave behind what no longer serves you, even if it's familiar and comforting. Think about the times in your life when you've been forced to change. Maybe it was a career shift, a relationship that ended, or a difficult personal challenge. Those moments were uncomfortable, and they may have even felt like setbacks at the time. But in hindsight, you can see that those changes were exactly what you needed to move forward. They were catalysts that pushed you towards something greater, something that was always inside you but could not come to life until you embraced change. Change requires you to step out of your comfort zone, and that can be terrifying. It's easy to get stuck in the same routines, surrounded by familiar faces and environments that make us feel safe. But safety isn't where growth happens. It's in the unknown and the risks you take, and in the decisions that challenge you to be more than you are today. Growth is not a passive process. You can't expect to grow without actively making choices that stretch you. You can't expect to get stronger without the resistance that forces you to build muscle both mentally and emotionally. Embracing change doesn't mean you won't face failure or obstacles along the way. In fact, change often brings more challenges because it forces you to adapt and find new solutions. But failure isn't the end of the road. It's just part of the journey. The key is to learn from it, to grow through it, and to use it as a stepping stone toward greater things. Without failure, there is no progress. Without discomfort, there is no transformation. Growth requires change because it challenges your current mindset, your beliefs, and the way you approach life. It's easy to stay stuck in familiar thought patterns, but that only keeps you in the same place. To grow, you have to be willing to reevaluate your thoughts, your habits, and your actions. You must be willing to ask yourself hard questions and confront the areas of your life that need improvement. This kind of introspection requires honesty, humility, and the courage to face the truth about yourself. As you embrace change, you'll begin to see new possibilities. You'll start to notice strengths within yourself that you didn't know existed. You'll find opportunities in places you never thought to look before. Growth requires that you look beyond your current limitations and trust that you are capable of becoming something more. Every small step, every change you make is adding to your potential. It's adding to the person you are becoming. And that person will always be more powerful, more confident, and more fulfilled than the person you were yesterday. In the end, growth is the result of change because change brings perspective. It forces you to reevaluate what truly matters to you, what you want to achieve, and who you want to become. You can't expect to stay the same and become something different. If you want to evolve, to reach new heights, to realize your full potential, you have to embrace the discomfort of change. It's the only way to break free from your limitations and step into the greatness that awaits you on the other side. Remember, growth isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create by choosing to embrace change, to take risks, and to continually push yourself toward the life you were meant to live. To control the narrative is to take command of your story, your voice, and the way the world perceives you. It's about understanding that you are the author of your own life, and how you choose to present yourself, your experiences, and your intentions shapes how others see you. Too often, we let others define us. We let external forces, whether it's society, critics, or even those closest to us, dictate how we should feel about ourselves or how our journey should unfold. But here's the truth: you are the only one who can control the narrative of your life. The world will try to tell you who you are, what you should do, and what you should stand for. But the power lies in your hands. When you control the narrative, you don't let the opinions of others dictate your path. You don't let misconceptions, stereotypes, or judgments determine your worth. You take control of your own story and refuse to let anyone else tell it for you. This doesn't mean ignoring the opinions of others or pretending like feedback doesn't matter. It means understanding the difference between constructive feedback and noise. There will always be critics, people who try to undermine your progress or project their own insecurities onto you. But when you control the narrative, you choose to let the criticism roll off you like water off a duck's back. You use what's useful and discard the rest. Your story is not for anyone else to write. It's yours to tell, and you write it the way you see fit. Taking control of the narrative also means understanding your value and not allowing anyone to diminish it. There are times in life when others may try to belittle you, take credit for your work, or even try to rewrite the history of your achievements. But when you stand firm and claim your narrative, you make it clear that your contributions, your sacrifices, and your successes are yours alone. You don't wait for others to recognize your worth. You know what you've done and what you're capable of, and you don't let anyone take that from you. Moreover, controlling the narrative is about setting the tone for your future. It's about deciding where you're going and how you're going to get there without letting fear or doubt determine your path. Too many people let their circumstances or past mistakes define them. They believe that because they've made a wrong turn or experienced failure, their story is over. But controlling the narrative means understanding that every chapter of your life is an opportunity to rewrite the next one. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by the choices you make today and the direction you decide to take moving forward. It's also about being proactive with your image. In a world where social media can shake perceptions in an instant, it's easy to fall into the trap of letting others create a narrative for you. But when you control the narrative, you choose what to share, when to share it, and how to present your story. You don't let the public dictate how much of yourself you reveal, and you don't allow the judgment of others to silence you. You own your narrative, and you share only what aligns with your values, your vision, and your truth. Controlling the narrative means taking responsibility for how you respond to life's challenges as well. When things don't go as planned, when the road gets tough, and when the world seems to be pushing against you, the narrative is yours to shape. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities for growth, failures as lessons, and setbacks as setups for a greater comeback. When you control the narrative, you have the power to reframe any situation and find meaning, purpose, and strength, even in adversity. Lastly, controlling the narrative is not just about self-preservation or empowerment. It's about creating a legacy. It's about building something that reflects who you are and what you stand for. It's about knowing that your story will inspire others long after you've moved on to the next chapter. When you control your narrative, you create a life that others will look at and say, that person lived with purpose. They lived on their own terms, and they left a mark on the world. In the end, controlling the narrative is about taking charge of your life. It's about knowing that your story is yours, and no one can take it from you unless you allow them to. Whether in your personal life, your career, or your relationships, when you control the narrative, you live with intention. You don't leave your story up to chance, you write it with purpose. And when you stand strong in who you are and in what you want to achieve, the world can't help but follow the story you've set for yourself. Taking responsibility for your peace is a powerful act of self-empowerment and emotional intelligence. It means recognizing that the foundation of your inner calm does not rely on external circumstances or the actions of others. Peace is something you create, maintain, and protect. It's not about avoiding conflict or retreating from challenges. It's about mastering the art of staying grounded and centered, no matter what is happening around you. You cannot control the chaos in the world, but you can control how you respond to it. Too often we give away our peace without even realizing it. We let other people's words, actions, or energy disrupt our sense of calm. We let the stresses of work, relationships, or financial pressures control our mood and mindset. The truth is, we cannot place our peace in the hands of other people or external situations. Doing so only makes us vulnerable and reactive. We become victims of our circumstances, allowing them to dictate how we feel. But peace is something that starts within, and it is something we have the power to protect and cultivate, no matter the noise around us. Taking responsibility for your peace begins with the decision to stop blaming others for your emotional state. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, if only this person were different, or if only my situation improved, I'd be at peace. But peace isn't conditional. It's not dependent on things outside of you. If you keep waiting for external factors to change, you'll be waiting forever. Instead, you must shift your focus inward and take full ownership of how you respond to life. No one can control your peace unless you allow them to. This means setting clear boundaries. Peace requires boundaries that protect your mental and emotional well-being. You must be willing to say no when something or someone is draining your energy or compromising your peace. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary for preserving your well-being. You have the right to say no to anything that disrupts your peace, whether it's toxic relationships, negative environments, or unnecessary stress. Taking responsibility for your peace also means being mindful of your thoughts. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools you have, and it shapes the way you experience the world. If you allow negative, self-defeating thoughts to take over, your peace will slip away. Peace comes from mastering your mind, choosing to focus on what you can control and releasing what you cannot. Practice thinking thoughts that empower you, affirm your worth, and center your spirit. Choose to focus on what brings you joy, growth, and gratitude. It's a daily practice, but with time, your mind becomes your ally in creating a peaceful existence. Another key to taking responsibility for your peace is letting go of the need to control everything. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much you plan or prepare, things won't always go your way. Peace comes from accepting this uncertainty and choosing to flow with life rather than resist it. When you release the need to control every aspect of your life, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. You learn to trust that things will work out in their own time, and that you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Taking responsibility for your peace also means letting go of past hurts and grudges. Holding on to resentment, anger, or pain from the past only keeps you stuck in a cycle of emotional unrest. Forgiveness is not about excusing someone's behavior. It's about releasing the hold that anger or hurt has over you. When you forgive, you reclaim your peace. You stop giving the power to others to determine your emotional state. And when you forgive yourself, you stop carrying the weight of your own mistakes, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. Self-care plays an important role in taking responsibility for your peace as well. Peace is not just a mental or emotional state, it's also physical. Taking care of your body through exercise, rest, healthy eating, and relaxation is essential for maintaining peace in your life. When you treat your body with love and respect, you create a stronger foundation for inner peace. Physical health and emotional well-being are connected, so prioritize self-care in ways that nurture both your mind and body. When you take responsibility for your peace, you understand that you can choose your response in any situation. Life is filled with challenges, difficulties, and setbacks, but peace doesn't have to be compromised by them. You choose how you react. You can choose to remain calm in the face of chaos, to find solutions instead of dwelling on problems, and to stay rooted in your sense of self and purpose. Your peace is yours to protect, and no one can take it unless you allow them to. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your peace means becoming the steward of your own well-being. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens around you, you can always control how you respond. Peace is a conscious choice you make every day, in every thought, every interaction, and every challenge you face. It's not something you find, it's something you create and protect. When you take responsibility for your peace, you no longer allow the chaos of life to dictate your emotional state. Instead, you become the force of calm in a turbulent world, standing firm in your power and your peace. Avoiding drama is about choosing peace over conflict, clarity over chaos, and wisdom over impulsive reactions. Drama, whether it's in your personal life, at work, or within your social circle, has a way of pulling you into unnecessary emotional turmoil. It's the distractions, the gossip, the negativity that can derail your focus and cause you to lose sight of what truly matters. The truth is, you don't have to engage with every situation that invites drama. In fact, your peace and your progress depend on your ability to disengage from it. Drama often thrives in environments where people are seeking attention, validation, or trying to create confusion to feel important. It can be tempting to get involved, to offer your opinion, or to defend yourself when you're pulled into the middle of it. But the greatest power is in your ability to choose silence, space, and distance when drama comes knocking. When you engage with drama, you allow it to consume your energy, cloud your judgment, and steal your focus. It becomes a distraction from your goals and a drain on your emotional resources. To avoid drama, you must first understand that it often stems from insecurity or unresolved issues in others. People who thrive on drama are often seeking attention, approval, or validation from external sources. They may not feel fulfilled or secure within themselves, so they create chaos as a way to feel significant. When you recognize this, you realize that you don't have to be part of their story. Their drama is not your responsibility, and their need for attention is not your problem. You must learn to let go of the urge to fix others or to get caught up in their emotional mess. Instead, focus on what you can control yourself. Another key to avoiding drama is recognizing the power of boundaries. Drama can easily seep into your life when you don't set clear limits with others. If you allow people to vent their frustrations, spread rumors, or involve you in their conflicts without any boundaries, you are opening the door for drama to enter your life. Boundaries protect your emotional space, your time, and your peace. You have the right to say no when someone tries to pull you into a situation that isn't aligned with your values or goals. By establishing and enforcing boundaries, you can keep your life drama-free, or at least minimize the impact it has on you. It's also important to stay focused on your own growth and purpose. Drama tends to thrive when people are bored, distracted, or feeling unfulfilled. If you are clear about your goals, your values, and your purpose, you are less likely to be swayed by the noise around you. When you have a strong sense of direction and a commitment to your own personal development, drama will have a much harder time finding its way into your life. You can confidently walk away from situations that don't serve your higher purpose, knowing that your time and energy are better spent on things that move you forward. Avoiding drama also means learning how to communicate effectively and choose your battles wisely. Not every situation requires a response or a confrontation. Sometimes the best way to avoid drama is to simply walk away from arguments or heated discussions that will only escalate. It's about having the wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain silent. You don't need to engage with every opinion or respond to every critique. You don't need to justify yourself to people who don't understand you or who are simply looking for a fight. By learning to walk away from petty disagreements and choosing to focus on what matters, you avoid falling into the trap of unnecessary drama. Another important aspect of avoiding drama is the decision to disengage from negativity. Negative people, situations, and conversations can create an environment ripe for drama. If you find yourself surrounded by individuals who constantly complain, gossip, or stir up trouble, you must ask yourself, do I want to be a part of this? Do I want to invest my time and energy into this type of negativity? The choice is yours. You can choose to remove yourself from situations that no longer serve you. You can choose to surround yourself with positive, supportive, and forward-thinking people who encourage your growth and your peace. Avoiding drama also requires a level of emotional maturity. Sometimes people will try to provoke you, push your buttons, or make you feel responsible for their emotional state. The mature response is not to react or retaliate, but to remain calm, composed, and detached. When you can respond to provocation with patience and emotional control, you maintain your power and your peace. Drama feeds off of impulsive reactions and emotional chaos, and the more you remain calm and in control, the less power drama has over you. Lastly, to avoid drama, you must focus on living authentically. Drama often arises when people are not being true to themselves, hiding their true feelings, or pretending to be something they are not. When you live authentically, when you speak your truth, and when you operate from a place of integrity, drama has less of a foothold in your life. People who are comfortable in their own skin and true to their own values are less likely to get caught up in the games and manipulations that often fuel drama. Authenticity is your shield, and when you are true to who you are, drama cannot touch you. In the end, avoiding drama is a choice to live with intention, to protect your peace, and to focus on what truly matters. Life is too short to waste time on conflicts that don't contribute to your growth or happiness. By setting boundaries, staying focused on your purpose, and engaging only in conversations and environments that align with your values, you can build a life free of unnecessary drama. And in doing so, you make room for the things that truly matter: peace, progress, and fulfillment. Strength and restraint. is a concept that challenges the typical view of power. In a world that often glorifies loudness, aggression, and forceful action, the true strength lies in knowing when not to act, when to remain silent, and when to hold back. Restraint is not about weakness or passivity, rather, it's a demonstration of control, wisdom, and self-mastery. It's about understanding that your power is not always shown in what you do, but sometimes in what you choose not to do. True strength lies in having the discipline to not act impulsively, but to pause, reflect, and make decisions with purpose and clarity. Every day we are faced with situations that could provoke us, challenge our patience, or pull us into unnecessary conflict. It's easy to react, to speak your mind, to jump into the fray, but that is often the moment where restraint becomes most powerful. When you hold back, you demonstrate not only control over your impulses, but also a deeper understanding of the bigger picture. Restraint means recognizing that not every situation requires a response, and not every comment deserves a reply. The act of choosing silence, choosing to step away, or simply choosing not to engage takes far more strength than reacting immediately. It requires patience, self-awareness, and the wisdom to know that sometimes your silence is more impactful than your words. There is a profound strength in being able to restrain yourself in the face of provocation. When others try to bait you, when they attempt to get a rise out of you, the ability to resist that temptation to react with anger, frustration, or defense shows immense emotional maturity. Every time you restrain yourself, you make a conscious decision to preserve your peace, and in doing so, you become stronger. Restraint in those moments allows you to retain your power, keeping your emotional energy intact for what truly matters. Responding with restraint means that you are not giving your power away to external circumstances or to others who would seek to control your emotions. Restraint also means recognizing that every action has consequences. It's the ability to think before you act, to measure your words and actions carefully, and to consider how they might affect not only your life, but the lives of others around you. Many people react first and think later, but those who embrace restraint understand that sometimes taking a step back and allowing time to pass can offer the clarity needed to make better decisions. Strength in restraint is the understanding that you don't always have to be the first to speak, the first to act, or the one to fix everything. Sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful action of all. In moments of conflict or adversity, restraint becomes even more significant. It's in those moments where the urge to lash out, to retaliate, or to protect yourself is the strongest that you must dig deep and hold back. Restraint in the face of challenge is the ability to rise above the situation and stay focused on your values, not on the temporary emotions that may cloud your judgment. When you hold yourself back from acting in the heat of the moment, you preserve your integrity and prevent yourself from making decisions you may later regret. Restraint protects you from falling into patterns of reaction that undermine your peace and your progress. The greatest strength comes not from overpowering others, but from the ability to remain grounded, centered, and poised in times of stress or provocation. It is the strength of knowing that your value is not determined by the drama around you or by engaging in every conflict that comes your way. Restraint is a choice, and it's a choice that separates those who are driven by emotion from those who lead with purpose. Choosing restraint is choosing to remain above the noise, to stay true to your higher self, and not be pulled down by the distractions of life. Restraint also connects deeply to self-respect. When you restrain yourself, you are showing respect for your own emotional and mental well-being. You are demonstrating that you value yourself enough to not allow every situation to dictate your state of mind. This level of self-respect is crucial because it allows you to navigate life with confidence and clarity. In moments when the world pushes you to react, your ability to restrain is a testament to your inner strength and your commitment to maintaining your peace and your integrity. There is a balance between action and inaction, between speaking and staying silent, between engaging and stepping away. The key to finding that balance is understanding that sometimes restraint is the wisest course. In a world where it is easy to get caught up in the rush of emotions and the need to prove something, those who possess strength and restraint are able to stand firm and unshaken. They understand that the power to choose when to act, when to speak, and when to remain still is a powerful tool in shaping their destiny. In the end, strength and restraint is a sign of emotional maturity, self-awareness, and wisdom. It is the ability to control your impulses, to rise above the noise, and to choose the path of peace and purpose. True power is not in how loudly you can make your presence known, but in how quietly you can make your impact felt. Restraining yourself from reacting impulsively allows you to conserve your energy, preserve your peace, and ultimately move forward in a way that aligns with your true purpose. Setting the example is one of the most powerful ways to lead in life. It's not about having all the answers or being perfect. It's about embodying the values and principles you believe in and demonstrating them through your actions. People are watching, whether you realize it or not. They are observing how you handle challenges, how you treat others, and how you respond to adversity. Your actions will always speak louder than your words. When you set the example, you inspire others to follow your lead without having to say a word. It's the quiet influence that comes from living authentically and with integrity. Setting the example starts with being self-aware. You must understand who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to be perceived. When you know yourself and live in alignment with your values, you automatically become a role model to those around you. People can sense when someone is authentic and genuine, and that authenticity is what draws them in. When you make decisions based on your core beliefs, when you act with kindness, compassion, and fairness, others will see the standard you've set and feel compelled to rise to it. It's important to realize that setting the example isn't always about grand gestures or big moments. It's in the everyday choices you make, the small acts of kindness, the way you handle frustration, and the consistency with which you show up for yourself and others. The example you set is often reflected in the little things: how you speak to people, how you manage your time, how you hold yourself accountable, and how you deal with setbacks. These are the moments that truly define you. They are the moments that shape how others perceive you and, more importantly, how they are inspired to act themselves. Leadership by example is particularly powerful because it creates a ripple effect. When you set a high standard for yourself, others around you tend to raise their standards as well. People naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate strength, grace, and humility under pressure. When you maintain your composure in stressful situations, when you treat others with respect regardless of their status, and when you take responsibility for your actions, you create an environment where others feel empowered to do the same. You set a tone, and that tone becomes the culture around you. In order to set the example, it's crucial to understand that your actions can influence those who may never directly tell you they are watching. Whether you're leading a team at work, guiding your family, or simply interacting with others in your daily life, there is always someone observing how you handle things. Your choices shape their perception of what's possible and what's acceptable. And while some may not acknowledge your efforts in the moment, they are internalizing your behavior and will likely carry those lessons forward. That's the real impact of setting the example. It extends beyond your direct influence and affects the choices of others long after the moment has passed. Setting the example also requires consistency. It's not enough to show up once in a while and display the right behavior when it's convenient. True leadership by example is about showing up every day, even when no one is watching, even when it's difficult. Consistency is key. People will notice if you only act with integrity when it's easy, or when you only demonstrate compassion when it suits your mood. To set the example, you must be unwavering in your commitment to doing the right thing, even when it's not the easiest or most popular choice. Over time, this consistency builds trust and respect, and it motivates others to do the same. In moments of adversity, the example you set can be even more powerful. It's easy to act with grace when things are going smoothly, but true leadership is demonstrated when you face challenges, setbacks, or difficult circumstances. How you navigate adversity speaks volumes about your character. Do you blame others when things go wrong? Do you give up when the going gets tough? Or do you stand tall, take responsibility, and keep pushing forward? In difficult times, people will look to you for guidance on how to respond. Your actions during these moments will show them how to handle their own struggles. You have the opportunity to teach resilience, perseverance, and grace simply by how you respond. Being a role model is not about trying to be perfect. It's about being authentic, vulnerable, and committed to growth. When you set the example, you don't have to have all the answers. What matters is that you are willing to admit when you don't know something, that you are willing to learn and grow, and that you show others it's okay to fail as long as you keep moving forward. By demonstrating humility and a willingness to learn, you inspire those around you to do the same. You show them that growth is a lifelong process, and it's okay to make mistakes as long as you keep striving to be better. Ultimately, setting the example is about living your truth and inspiring others to do the same. It's about leading with integrity, being accountable for your actions, and choosing to act in ways that align with your values. By living in this way, you create a ripple effect that encourages others to elevate their behavior and rise to the occasion. The example you set becomes a guidepost for others, and the impact you have can be far-reaching, even if you never see the full extent of it. The greatest leaders in life are not the ones who demand respect, but the ones who earn it through their actions. They lead not by force, but by the quiet strength of their example. In conclusion, setting the example is the most powerful way to lead, not through words, but through actions that reflect your integrity, values, and commitment to personal growth. It's about being the kind of person others want to follow because they see the strength in your consistency, your humility, and your resilience. The example you set shapes not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. By living authentically, making intentional choices, and maintaining unwavering principles, you inspire others to elevate their standards and rise to their own potential. The true impact of setting the example is not always visible in the moment, but its ripple effect can be far-reaching, influencing future generations, and shaping the world in ways we may never fully see. Lead with purpose, lead by example, and know that in doing so, you are planting the seeds for a better, stronger tomorrow.